I should have literally titled this episode Aao Behan Chugli Kare, because that is exactly what I am going to do, or maybe just look at some of the reviews that have come in. All everybody is talking about this week, at least right now, is Heera Mandi. On at least on my feed, पूरे Instagram पे सब जगह यही बात हो रही है. And I was like, you know what, let me put the regular content on hold and put this out there, because I honestly need your opinion. So I have not seen it yet, and I just wanted to know if investing so much time is worth it. There are like 8 episodes, each anywhere between 45 minutes to 70 minutes long, and I do not want to waste so much time. Like, if you think about it, really, I'd rather be more satisfied with a 2-hour movie. Like, there's a start, there's a conflict, there's a resolution, there's a finish, and that's that. Like, just give me that. 2 hours में अगर कोई thing wrap up होती है, तो why would you want to spread it out into 8 brutally boring episodes? Like, it just is a lot of time and investment. Yeah, and that's something that I do not wish to do unless until I'm deep diving into something and then trying to understand if it's even worth my time. That's exactly what I did. I'm a fan of Sanjay Leela Bhansali, and when I realized he was coming out with this TV show Heera Mandi, the Diamond Bazaar, I knew I was invested. Like, I wanted to be as invested, but I gave it a thought, and here we are. So I came across this critic post review on my Instagram. So it was a static image with critics like, India Today, News 18, Punjab Kesari, iDiva, Mashable, Bollywood Live, First Post, Financial Express, a lot of big names rating this show, giving it anywhere from 4-star to 5-star, and nothing less than that. Nothing less than that. And I was like, that's pretty good. But then I also had to remind myself that no critic is worth believing in, because if you remember, there was a time where critics rated this movie Animal 4.5 star, like 5-star rating diya tha. And then you have to seriously question the worth of these reviews and these critics. Like, they can be easily bought off, period. And so you cannot believe what you see out there. That's what at least I told myself. And then I accidentally came across the post by Harper's Bazaar. जब मैं research कर रही थी, it was just a pure coincidence or fluke के I came across a pretty big publication calling it what it is. All that glitters is not gold. And that made me stop and like chuckle for a second there. Okay. Because सब जगह positive reviews दिख रहे थे, and this is like Harper's Bazaar India is a pretty big name, and so you gotta think, okay. So when I saw this post on Instagram and the ratings, I was not surprised, because I love Sanjay Leela Bhansali's movies, all of it. Like, his immaculate set design, production value बहुत ज़्यादा होता है. He's known for that grand and opulent atmosphere that he ends up creating. His visuals are cinematic, treat to our eyes. All of his movies, all of it. Pick any movie that he've done, from Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam to Devdas to Ram Leela, Bajirao Mastani, Gangubai, Padmavat. He've done some of the best movies out there, and so why would this not be a good one as well? I mean, he's one of the best filmmakers India has ever seen. And then I read what the real critics had to say about the movie. When I mean the real critic, I mean the Aam Janta, the real public. They got very, very real. I mean, they will see the real critic, people like us, you and me, whoever, these people on the internet, they will rip you apart and split you in half and make you eat your own shit. They are very real, okay? They are very real. And so when I saw the static image with those ratings being pushed out by the show, I knew I had to check the comments, and oh boy, was I shocked and given a reality check. Like 80% to 90% of the comments were negative, and then there were far few in between, 10 to 15% who actually watched the entire thing, and like they were like, okay, I loved it and I highly recommend it. Okay, so here are a few things that people had to say negatively about the show. Number one, Am I the only one who found it boring? Beautiful but boring. Then there was another person saying Alam Zeb couldn't actually act at all. So this character was being played by Sharmin Sehgal. So she's a niece of Sanjay Leela Bhansali, for the two of you who don't know. So basically a nepo baby. There were a lot of people saying Manisha Koirala was a powerhouse. Her acting was stunning, beautiful, brilliant. Even Farida Jalal was in it. She was doing fabulous job. We were talking about the negatives. So people started also calling out that this seems like a Gangubai extended version. It was so bad. That person couldn't get through the first episode. Overall, bad, boring, whatever synonymous you can come up with, not worth watching. Fast forwarded all of the songs and dance sequences. Then somebody said, the sets are mind blowing, the lights, the royalty, costume, everything was on point, but the storyline wasn't worth watching. Was feeling sleepy in between because each episodes are stretched out with unwanted scenes. Okay, one last review that hit it out of the park. All of these reviews are under that post. Like, this is what all people were talking about under that post. So here's a longer one. It could have been a movie. It lacked impact and felt like it wasn't edited well as a TV show. Like other Netflix shows, like any other Netflix shows, there is a start, there's a build up, problem resolution, and or cliffhanger. It lacked all of these elements. It felt like I'm watching long movie but in parts. Manisha's role was more of an anti-villain, which seemed rushed. There wasn't enough substance to her character development. It felt very sudden how she changed. Sonakshi Sinha's character seemed like an add-on. Again, lacked depth in her character development. Richa Chadda's character had no reason to be a part of the story. There was Aditi Rao Hydari was good. Sharmin Sehgal's character and her acting was so confusing. She would smile in some of the most serious scenes, which made no sense at all. And no wonder they were promoting costumes and aesthetics of the movie more than the plot. It's sad to see such a waste of an opportunity. Someone even in the comments questioned, how does this series get such good reviews from all the critics? Audience did not like it at all. Somebody called it out hard in the comment. How are they getting it? I also read people under the same post say, please go watch Lapata Ladies instead. And here I was again chuckling again. I am literally that bug on the wall trying to see what people are saying and also bringing it to you guys, and then I'm considering. I have personally not seen this show, and I wanted to deep dive into it and see what was up, but then also I want to know if it's good or bad before investing like 8-9 hours of my life on a TV show. You can't do that to me. I don't want to invest so much time Netflix on a show. No, I can't do that. If a show can be, if a story can be finished in 2 hours, you don't need to drag it out for 8-9 hours. I can't do that. No. Okay, now I'm gonna quote a few reviews that were positive under the same post on Instagram. So this infamous post that I'm talking about, it is on their Instagram page, Bhansali Production. I think that's the name of the Instagram page, and they've put the very first early reviews that had come in, and then the following post. All of the posts have some very, very similar reviews of it. And I'm going to read a few positives as well, because sure, there were people also who loved it. So, number 1, cried my eyes out in the last episode. What a beauty. Finished watching, and the ending, oof, the Inqilab Zindabad part gave me goosebumps. Absolutely brilliant direction, exceptional color grading, and stunning cinematography, coupled with powerhouse performances by Manisha Koirala and compelling script and narration. Sanjay Leela Bhansali's masterpiece prove the true artistry thrives without resorting to nudity or excessive content. Yeah. फिर कोई और बोल रहा था, somebody else said the last 2 episodes made the earlier 6 slow duds of an episode, absolutely worth it. A masterpiece when it comes to cinematography and sets. Sanjida stood out amongst the rest of the cast members. Fair. I don't know why so many people are calling it boring. It is an 8 episode series, not a 2-hour movie, so it will obviously be a bit slower and in depth as compared to other Netflix series. It's definitely really good, but most of you people cannot stop comparing it either to other movies, even though movies like Gangubai or Padmavat were also criticized or disliked when they came out. This point somewhere makes sense because almost every other movie that he worked on has faced a lot of controversy, and yeah, maybe this is where this point is convincing me to go watch it. But I was still very skeptical to this point कि भाई okay, आई वॉज लाइक ये इंस्टाग्राम वाला पब्लिक है, रेडिट वाला पब्लिक कुछ और ही होता है, लाइक नेक्स्ट लेवल होता है रेडिट वाला. रेडिट विल is a much sophisticated, smarter crowd. They'll call out your bullshit and it will make it to the national news, because that's exactly what happened with the Gucci campaign. Alia Bhatt, like one day she was promoting her show Poacher on Amazon, and the next day she was seen wearing this Gucci handbag made out of calf skin. And yeah, they'll call you out so hard and it will make it to the national news on newspapers as well and in TV. Anyway, so of course, I made a choice to deep dive into Reddit and see what people there had to say. So Redditors mostly were talking about how bad Charmaine Segal's acting was. Like every other person kept on saying the same, that she smiled at the wrong moment, she was smirking throughout the scenes, even when the situation was bad, she just couldn't stop with that expression. Her expressions were so bad, her acting was so bad. People pointed out this mistake left and right on every post. Like they just kept on mentioning it everywhere. Even they even pointed out that Charmaine had to actually turn off a comment section on her Instagram page because it might have gotten worse. People also kept mentioning that her acting made people think she was playing the part of a blind woman, which she wasn't, by the way. She wasn't blind in this TV show. She was just acting like that. And I was like, what kind of acting was she doing? And then I ended up watching 1 or 2 music videos, and it just made sense ki what people were saying were actually right. It just felt like she was blind, but she wasn't, and that made me start spiraling. Oh my god. People also felt like she was one of the biggest casting mistake he could have ever done, and that there was a couple of names being splattered. They could have considered Jennifer Winget to be one of the role, or she could have played a better role than Charmaine did, which made me think, Jennifer Winget could have been good one, yeah. Anyways, number 2, everything is so aesthetically appealing and perfect that it really distracts people from the actual storyline. An easy task considering they didn't pay much attention to the story anyway. So again, people were bashing that at the root of it all, it's the story that makes and moves everything, and there was no story. Then other people were like, Sonakshi Sinha literally ate the entire cast. What a performance by her. Someone else said it's just meh. Will the sequel be called Sabzi Mandi, the vegetable bazaar? Now the following review was a long one and pretty much summed up what everybody was trying to say or were saying, and so I'll try to keep it short and pick and choose a few points out of this person's long review. So number 1, this person said, long format is not Bhansali's friend. The series drags on and on before suddenly picking up pace in the last few episodes and ending rather abruptly. There are several scenes where you just know that the female character was written by a man and he just did not do a good job of it. Number 2, they finished fighting with each other in the series, and when there is nobody left to fight with, they finally take up the arms and fight against the British, like an afterthought or a last resort. Really lackluster writing here, can't say that enough. Number 3, the show ends up being about everything and nothing at the same time, which must be, this must be some kind of accomplishment for sure, because apparently it costs tons and tons of money to make such movie at grand scale. Maybe they could have skipped a few heavy zari velvet curtains and costume changes. This made me chuckle so hard. Oh my god. That could have freed up the budget for a better writing staff. Honestly, the fabric budget on this movie will put a small country's GDP to shame. Watch for the ludicrously luxurious production value and Richa Chadda's acting in Sakal Ban. It's a song. Just YouTube pe dhoon lo. Try searching it, Sakal Ban. It was just beautiful. Aesthetic, of course. All about the aesthetics. Okay. Somewhere I think the story is an afterthought. Like you put on everything up. Sab kuch dal do. SLB ka magic dal do. Big set, big production house, beautiful outfit, makeup, everything. Put average actors on, and उनका last requirement होता है कि यार थोड़ा सा story डाल दो. Story के बिना आगे character एक दूसरे से क्या ही बात कर लेंगे. Like that's what it was starting to feel after doing so much research कि भाई वो थोड़ा सा आखिरी में उसने sprinkle डाल दिया है. Sprinkle of story. Also, they did something to get more eyeballs. They did a merch collaboration with RGO in hopes to get the word out and rolling. I mean, Sanjay Leela Bhansali is known for everything opulent. So, of course, clothing was one of the biggest selling points in any of his shows or movies. Like, they just look beautiful. So, of course, this collaboration was bound to happen eventually. But still, I mean, it doesn't convince me to go and watch the show. At the end of the day, they are marketing the movie, right? So, does it convince me? No. Also, stage, TV, movie costumes look the way they look because they are a bit exaggerated and more vibrant for it to look good under certain angle and under certain lights and on camera screen. It might not look good for an outsider to wear it out of context, basically. अगर out of context पहन रही हूँ तो कोई फर्क कुछ समझेगा नहीं. The clothes were anywhere from 4,000, 5,000 to ranging to up to 20,000, and I did not even like it. As an actual clothing wearer, I did not like any of the styles that were on out and about being sold. I did not like it, and hence I guess they started even giving discounts on it. 15, 20, 30% discount. I saw they were discounting the outfits. So yeah, my question is it genuinely good at the end of the day? Is it genuinely, the show is genuinely good? Maybe shayad I am too dumb to understand the depth of emotions that are being portrayed, or is it just simply bad? Just like so I want to look at it like reading a good book or even reading a poetry. Sometimes you need to read it not once but twice or thrice to really understand the emotions and the depth of story behind it. Meaning, the more you read it, the better it gets after second or third read. So am I missing out on something? Like, am I not getting anything, or are people really missing out on what the 10% are saying? The 10% public is like, they loved it. So I'm questioning, what am I missing out? Like, really, am I missing out on something? I also saw Sanjay Leela Bhansali walking the red carpet in LA, and Netflix, or I don't know if it was Netflix who hosted the show or was it the movie. I believe it was Netflix, and they poached some pretty big, well-renowned names in the Hollywood industry to host and interview the cast. So Lily Singh was poached for it, and there was Deepa Khosla. Like, I love both of these ladies, and both of them looked gorgeous on the red carpet. Now listen, it makes sense to have famous internet famous Indian faces to be part of such a show and to host and interview them, because they want to penetrate the American market. They are catering. They want the Indian Americans to come and watch the show, and who better than Lily Singh and Deepa Khosla? Because who doesn't know them at the end of the day, right? Like, they're pretty big names. So the question is, did it really make any difference? I have a lot of viewers listeners, sorry, from across the globe. Let me know if that made any difference, if you've seen any interviews. Are you going to watch it? Did you already watch it? Is it worth investing your 7 to 8 hours of your life into a show, something like this? Or can it be simply avoided? I've done my research. What do you think? This is Aditi. आप सुन रहे हो Kai Pan Aditi. I'll see you next Sunday at 11 a.m. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.